the word love? What does it truly mean? Is it something that should be whispered easily? Or should it be held back and only told during those few special moments? Eric thought about this, but he didn't know anymore. The word love had lost all meaning, become part of the nightmare that was now his daily life. Today was the same as every other day. He was trapped in darkness and entirely alone. Yet the moment he heard something, his body tensed up. It tensed up because he heard her. He knew what was coming long before she entered. It was always the same every single goddamn day. Eric knew he couldn't handle it anymore. He just couldn't. Yet he had to. There was no other way. When the door opened, he clenched his eyes shut with all the force he could muster. "Do you love me?" Her guttural, hard voice echoed from outside, and for a moment it filled the entire small room. "Of course I do," he answered in a trembling voice. There was a giggle that could have come from the throat of a little girl if it hadn't been so deep, so grating. Yet it lasted only for a mere moment. The voice turned hard again, hard and cold. "Then why aren't you looking at me?" it demanded. No, almost shrieked at him. And so, trembling in fear, Eric finally opened his eyes. In the dim light that entered the room, he could finally make out his disgusting putrid prison cell. He could see his own excrements, his blood, and what remained of his fellow captives. But the worst by far was her. The sick, bloated monstrosity of her body. She was a disgusting, humongous thing, her body more that of a worm than a human. Rolls and rolls of fat slithered inside, pushed through the door before she came to a rest in front of him. Her fat sausage fingers reached out to hold his face in her hands. For a second, her tiny button eyes rested on his before she let him go again. She was a creature of purest disgust, her smell so unbearable it made Eric's eyes water. When she brought her mouth close to his, he instinctively cringed back, his body trying to flee, but the chains made any escape impossible. Her lips came to rest on his, and when a disgusting, bloated tongue pushed into his mouth, he almost gagged. Instantly her face grew hard again. Her body started shaking in anger. "What's the matter?" the inhuman amalgamation of fat demanded of him. "No, it's nothing. You're beautiful." He finally pressed out, contorting his face into the semblance of a smile. The creature giggled again before she turned from him and slithered back towards the door. As it fell shut, he was at last able to relax, for he knew he'd live yet another day.